We are continuing with the read of the Israelites' entrance into Canaan. Located about 2 miles northeast of Jericho was Gilgal, Israel's base camp and their temporary center of government and worship. God was at work. Israel had experienced a great miracle. The enemy was frightened, and now was the time for action. But God told his people to wait and deal with the past. The new generation had not received the mark of the covenant. So this ritual was a reaffirmation of the relationship with God. Chapter 1 reads about the circumcision of all males and contains the information about how the nation stopped eating manna and started eating food that God naturally provided. After crossing the Jordan River, the Israelites began to conquer Canaan. Jericho was one of the oldest cities in the world, and in some places had fortified walls up to 25 feet high and 20 feet thick. Israel would attack this city first, and its destruction would put the fear of Israel into the heart of every person in Canaan. God gave Joshua all these complicated instructions for the battle. This strange military maneuver was a test of the Israelites' faith and their willingness to follow God completely. Do you remember the song, God Fought the Battle of Jericho? Well, we read about it this week in the 6th chapter. Chapter 7 tells a story about a man who was tempted in the midst of victory. Achan should have been attending to his military duties, but his eyes wandered and he walked into sin. He valued the material possessions more than he valued obedience to God. He underestimated God and did not take his commands seriously. The results of Achan's sin were the death of many men. The army became fearful. Joshua questioned God. Achan and his family had to be destroyed, and God threatened to withdraw his presence. The lessons we learn from our failures should make us better to handle the same situation the second time around. In chapter 8, God was eager to give a cleansing forgiveness and strength. He instructed Joshua on the conquest of Ai, another city only 11 miles from Jericho. It was a huge victory, along with allowing the Israelites to keep the plunder and livestock this time. In the final chapter read of the week, we see where the citizens of Gibeon tricked Joshua. Joshua did not go to God for counseling about the peace treaty. He thought it lacked the importance of seeking God's advice. However, by failing to seek God's advice and guidance and rushing ahead with their own plan, they had to deal with angry people and an awkward alliance. There's nothing that is not important to God. Each chapter tells of a story this week. Enjoy the reading along with the daily devotions written by Heather. We will continue with this interesting book next week with another 5 chapters, because remember, reading the Bible with biblical shakers is way more enjoyable for you. And I pray that the Lord will put a hunger on your heart.